Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a really fascinating collection of info here, all about table tennis.
Yeah.
Seems like you're looking to get a pretty solid handle on the game, right? From the absolute basics up to, well, some of the finer points.
Yeah, absolutely.
So our mission, as always, is to pull out the most, compelling stuff, the really useful bits, so you feel properly informed, but not like totally snowed under with detail.
Exactly. And looking through this, it's amazing how much there actually is. It's not just whacking a ball over a net, is it?
No, definitely not.
We're talking equipment details, the rules, different strokes, strategy, the whole mental side of things, even the history and how it's all run. It's surprisingly deep.
Okay, so let's dive in then. What are the absolute must-knows? I mean, equipment-wise. Beyond the obvious table, what bits are key?
Yeah.
And any, interesting quirks about them. Let's start with the ball itself, that little sphere.
Right, the ball. Okay, so the official one now, since 2015 actually, is 40 millimeters across. Weighs just 2.7 grams. Yeah, really light. It's made of polymer plastic, basically. And they're either white or orange, mostly for visibility, against the table or surroundings.
Makes sense.
Now, you might see stars on them, like 1, 2, or 3 stars. It's not officially standardized by the ITTF, the governing body. But generally, more stars means like better quality, rounder, more consistent bounce, better for proper play.
So 3-star is what you'd want for a real match.
Pretty much, yeah. Or at least for serious practice. Official ITTF competition balls just need their specific approval stamp regardless of stars. And interestingly, before 2000, the ball was smaller, 38 millimeters.
Oh, really? Why the change?
Well, the idea was to slow the game down a bit, make rallies longer, more viewer-friendly. But yeah, it caused a bit of a stir at the time. Players had to adjust.
I bet. Okay, and the table it bounces on. What's important there?
Precision stuff here. It's got to be 2.74 meters long, 1.525 meters wide, and exactly 76 centimeters high.
Wow, specific.
Yep. And the surface has to be dark and matte, no shine, so it doesn't distract anyone. That net across the middle, 15.25 centimeters high.
Okay.
And the big thing is a uniform bounce. Has to bounce the same everywhere. The ITTF only approves wooden tables or wood derivatives for comps because they give that consistency.
Right. But you do see concrete ones outside sometimes.
Yeah, totally. For casual play, parks and stuff, they're fun, but the bounce is different.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, space-wise, you can't just stick this table in a tiny room, right?
Yeah, definitely not for serious play. ITTF tournaments need a minimum playing area. Think 14 meters long by 7 meters wide.
Whoa, that big.
It is. And you need height clearance, too, at least 5 meters, for those high defensive lobs, Wheelchair events. It needs slightly less space, though.
Right. Okay. So ball, table, space. Now, the thing you hit the ball with? The racket.
Or bat.
Or paddle. What's the official line?
Yeah, all 3 get used.
Yeah.
Officially, the ITTF calls it a racket. Bat is very common in the UK, and places like that paddle you hear more in the US and Canada. But they all mean the same thing.
So what is it exactly?
Basically, it's a blade made of laminated wood, usually between 1 and 7 layers, or plies, and the rules say at least 85% has to be natural wood.
Interesting.
Average size is roughly 17 centimeters long, 15 centimeters wide. But the real business end is the rubber glued onto it, on one side or usually both.
That's where the spin comes from.
Exactly. Different rubbers give you different levels of spin, speed, control. It's quite complex. Rules say one side has to be black, the other a different bright color used to be just red, but now it can be pink, green, blue, violet.
Why are there 2 colors?
So your opponent can see which side you're using because the rubbers might have totally different properties. You're allowed to check your opponent's racket before you play.
Ah, clever.
Yeah. And you can't just swap rackets mid-match unless yours gets damaged. If you're looking to buy gear, there are specialist places online like megaspin.net was mentioned. They list tons of brands for everything. Tables, robots, blades, rubbers.
Okay, so say someone's just starting out. They've got the gear idea. What's the key advice from the sources?
Megaspin had beginner tips, right?
Yeah, they did. Their big thing is get proper equipment from the get-go. Don't just grab the cheapest set from a general sports store, what they call game quality stuff.
Right. Avoid the toy versions.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
They really push buying from specialist dealers, even online, because they know their stuff and have way better selection. For a first racket, they suggest getting one with inverted rubber. That's the smooth, flat kind.
Okay.
Gives you a good mix of control and spin potential for learning. And stick to that ITTF legal table if you can. Use decent 3-star balls. Oh, and what you wear matters too.
How so?
Dark clothes, non-shiny, so you don't distract the other player. And shoes need to let you move side to side quickly. They actually say don't wear running shoes.
Really? Why not?
They're built for forward motion, not the lateral shuffling you do constantly in table tennis. You need court shoes, basically.
Gotcha. And it's not just about the gear and clothes, is it? Preparation. Oh, definitely. Warming up is crucial. Like any sport, really. Get the blood flowing, maybe a light jog, dynamic stretches for the muscles you'll be using.
Those quick, explosive moves.
Exactly. And cooling down afterwards is just as important. Static stretches help with flexibility and recovery. Don't skip it.
Right. Okay, let's talk about holding the racket. You mentioned shake hand is common.
Mhm.
What are the main grips?
Yep, shake hand is the big one. Looks just like you're shaking hands, right? Index finger along the bottom edge of one rubber, thumb on the other side, fingers wrapped around the handle, about a 45-degree angle.
And the advantage.
It's balanced, good for both forehand and backhand strokes. Plus, tons of rackets are designed for it because it's so popular.
Okay. What else is there?
Then you've got the pen hold grip.
Yeah.
Held more like a pen, yeah. Thumb and index finger pinching the handle on one side, other fingers curled on the back.
Looks quite different.
It is. Tends to favor the forehand side more. There are variations too. Chinese pen hold often has a shorter handle, gives more wrist action for close to table stuff. Japanese pen hold sometimes has a raised bit, like a hook for maybe more forehand power.
Interesting. Any other advantages to pen hold?
Well, you can use rubber on just one side, which makes the racket lighter. And it can be, a bit tricky for opponents who aren't used to facing it. Then there's also the Seemiller grip, named after Danny Seemiller, an American player.
How does that one work?
Thumb and index finger are on either side of the rubber, right at the bottom of the racket head. Other fingers wrap the handle. It's meant to be good for blocking shots and looping against backspin on the forehand.
Okay, lots of options.
All right.
So you've chosen your grip. Now how do you stand? The ready position.
Super important. You want a slight crouch, feet about shoulder width apart, maybe a bit wider. Weight forward on the balls of your feet.
Ready to pounce.
Kinda, yeah. Relaxed but ready to explode into movement. Arms bent, racket out in front. It's your base for everything moving quickly, staying balanced, hitting with power and control.
And footwork follows from that.
Absolutely. Table tennis is constant small adjustments, getting in the perfect spot for each shot without lunging. The side-to-side shuffle is key. Quick little steps.
Timing must be crucial.
Totally. You need to move as your opponent is hitting, not after the ball's already halfway across the net. Get there, hit, then get back to that ready stance. Always back to base.
Right, ready for the next one. Okay, stance, footwork.
Yeah.
Let's hit the ball. What are the basic shots everyone needs to know?
Okay, the fundamentals. The drive, or topspin drive, that's your main attacking shot. Brush up the back of the ball, get it spinning forwards. Low over the net, puts pressure on.
Okay, offensive. What about defense?
The push, or backspin push, that's more about control, changing the pace. Use against low balls, or serves. Open the racket face slightly, contact underneath the ball just after the bounce. Creates backspin.
So the opposite spin to the drive.
Exactly. Then there's a block. Super basic, just holding the racket pretty firm, angled slightly back, use the opponent's pace to send it back quickly, close to the table.
Simple but effective.
Can be, yeah. The smash, that's pure power. For high balls, kill shots, big swing, usually forehand. You see pen holders use it a lot.
Right. Any others?
The chop, that's a defensive shot, usually from further back, like a bigger push, really cutting down on the ball to get heavy backspin. The loop is a big offensive weapon, too.
Loop. How's that different from a drive?
It's all about heavy topspin. You really graze the ball with a fast upward motion, makes the ball arc quite high, but then dip sharply and kick forward off the bounce. Very hard to handle.
Sounds tricky.
It is. Then there's just the hit, or speed drive. More direct contact, less spin, just pure pace. And Wikipedia mentioned a few others, like the counter hit, which is attacking their drive.
Quick reaction.
Yeah. And the flip, which is an attack against short balls near the net.
Mm.
And the lob, that high defensive shot when you're pushed back.
Okay, quite a toolkit of shots. And every point starts with the serve. What are the rules there? Any specific techniques?
Service rules are pretty strict now, mainly for fairness. Ball starts in your open palm, fingers together, thumb free, above the table level.
Okay.
Then you toss it vertically, straight up, at least 16 centimeters. That's about 6 inches.
Has to be straight up.
Yep. No
Yeah.
spinning it on the toss. And you hit it on the way down. And crucially, the ball has to be visible to the receiver the entire time, from the moment it leaves your hand until you hit it.
Ah, that visibility rule. When did that come in?
2002. Stopped players hiding the ball with their body or arm, which was, a bit sneaky.
Right.
You also have to hit it behind your own end line. As for technique, no specific serves are required, but you definitely want to learn to put spin on it, mostly using your wrist.
And doubles is different.
Yeah, just one extra rule for the serve and doubles. It must go cross-court. From the server's right-hand box diagonally to the receiver's right-hand box.
Right to right. Got it. Okay, we know the shots, how to serve, how does scoring work, winning games and matches.
Okay, starting off. Who serves first is usually decided by luck, coin toss, or something similar. Winner chooses serve, receive, or which end. Informally, people might just rally for serve.
Right. Then
Server hits it, bounces once on their side, then once on the receiver's side. Can't hit the net on the way over unless it's a let. Receiver hits it back before the second bounce. Then you just alternate hits.
until someone misses.
Basically, yeah. A point is scored if your opponent messes up the serve, fails to return it legally, hits it into the net, hits it off the table, obstructs it, hits it twice, touches the table or net with their body or racket, puts their free hand on the table.
Lots of ways to lose a point.
Yep. Oh, and a let means the rally doesn't count. Like if the serve hits the net but lands legally, or the receiver wasn't ready, or some distraction happens.
Okay, so how many points to win?
Games go to 11 points now. Used to be 21.
Another change.
Yeah, same time as the ball change, mostly. Speed things up. But you have to win by 2 clear points. So if it's 10-10, you play on until someone's ahead by 2, 12, 10, 13, 11, whatever.
Deuce, like in tennis.
Exactly. And a match is usually best of an odd number of games. Best of 5 or best of 7 is common in competitions.
And you swap ends and serves during the match.
Yep. You serve for 2 points, then the other player serves for 2 points. Just keeps alternating.
Okay.
And after every game, you switch ends of the table. In the very last game, the deciding game, you also switch ends when the first player gets to 5 points.
Keep it fair. Now, doubles sounds like it could get chaotic with 2 people aside. How does that work?
It adds a whole layer. All the singles rules apply, but the serve has to be diagonal, right box to right box, like we said. And then the order of hitting is strict.
How so?
Partners must take turns hitting the ball. So server A hits it, receiver X hits it back, then server A's partner B has to hit the next shot, then receiver X's partner Y hits it, then back to A, then X, and so on. A, X, B, Y, A, X, B, Y.
Wow, okay. You really have to know where your partner is and anticipate.
Totally. Communication and movement are key. And the service rotation follows that pattern too. After 2 points, the serve switches teams. The player who is just receiving serves and the partner of the person who just served becomes the receiver.
Gets complicated.
It sounds it, but you get into the rhythm. The receiving order also changes between games, and again, at 5 points in the final game when you switch ends. It ensures everyone plays against everyone in different situations.
Okay. Now, what was that expedite system mentioned? Sounds dramatic.
Yeah, it's basically a time limit rule. Stops games dragging on forever with really defensive play.
When does it kick in?
If a game isn't finished after 10 minutes of play and the score is less than 18 points combined, so like 9, 8 or less, or if both players agree to start it.
And what happens then?
The serve changes every single point, 1 serve each. And the big changes if the receiver makes 13 successful returns in a row.
13?
Yep, 13 shots back legally. The server loses the point.
Whoa. That forces you to attack.
Exactly the point. Puts pressure on the server to finish the rally sooner, and once it starts in a game, it stays on for the rest of the whole match.
Right. That definitely changes tactics.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk spin. Huge part of the game, right?
Yeah.
What are the main types?
Oh, absolutely fundamental. You've basically got 4 main types. First, backspin. You hit underneath the ball, makes it rotate backwards towards you.
And the effect.
It tends to float a bit more, then dip down after its peak. And crucially, it bounces low off the table, makes the opponent have to lift the ball up over the net.
Okay, backspin, low bounce. What's next?
Topspin, the opposite. Brush up the back of the ball, making it rotate forwards, away from you.
So that bounces high.
It dips down quicker in the air, but then when it hits the table, it jumps forwards and often higher. Forces your opponent to angle their racket downwards or close the face to control it. It's the main attacking spin.
Because it's hard to lift.
Exactly. That downward arc makes it tough. Then you have side spin. Brushing the side of the ball makes it rotate like a spinning top, kind of.
Does that affect the bounce much?
Less effect on the height, but it makes the ball curve in the air like a curveball, and it kicks sideways off the bounce. Really useful on serves, pull your opponent wide, can create a hook in rallies too.
Tricky. And the last one.
Cork spin. sometimes called drill spin. This is where the axis of spin is almost like parallel to the direction the ball is traveling.
Hard to picture.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't curve much in the air, but when it bounces, it can dart off sideways unpredictably. Very hard to do well, and usually mixed with topspin or backspin. Not as common.
Okay, so backspin, topspin, side spin.
Yeah.
Mastering those seems key. Now, beyond all the physical skill and spin wizardry, there's the mental game. That Bill Cole article dug into this. What were the takeaways?
Yeah, he focused on 3 C's.
Yeah.
Confidence, composure, concentration.
Okay. That sounds
Here he
good.
argues it's internal, comes from remembering past successes, even small wins, and actually accepting compliments, not brushing them off. Build that inner belief.
Makes sense. Composure.
That's about accepting what's happening right now, good or bad. Stop beating yourself up mentally if you make a mistake. He even mentioned using gratitude, just being thankful for playing, can help you relax under pressure.
Interesting approach. And concentration.
His point was, don't try to tune out distractions. Tune into the ball. Really focus on seeing it, the spin, feeling the contact, not worrying about the crowd or the score. Develop a pre-point routine, maybe a deep breath. Focus.
So zoning in on the task at hand.
Exactly. Block out the noise by focusing intensely on the process.
It really highlights how much is going on mentally. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. History and how the sport is run. It started as a parlor game.
Yeah, kind of funny, right? Victorian England, late 1800s, maybe started by British officers in India improvising with books as a net, cigar box lids as rackets.
Resourceful.
Totally. By the 1880s, it was getting more popular back in England. Slazenger even patented a net for it in 1883. The name ping pong actually came from a company, J. Jacques & Son, who trademarked it around 1901.
Ah, so that's why we mostly say table tennis.
Pretty much. Parker Brothers got the ping pong trademark in the US, so other makers used table tennis. And 2 big game changers happened around then. Celluloid balls replaced cork or rubber ones, much better bounce.
Right.
And E.C. Good put pebbled rubber on his racket in 1901. Suddenly you could put spin on the ball. That changed everything.
I bet. So when did it get properly organized?
The International Table Tennis Federation, the ITTF, was formed in 1926. They set the official rules, first published in 27. Now they have like 226 member countries. Huge.
And it became an Olympic sport.
Yep, 1988 Seoul Olympics was the first time. Started with singles and doubles, but they swapped doubles for team events in 2008 in Beijing.
And those rule changes, we talked about bigger ball, 11-point games, service visibility, they came after 2000.
Mostly, yeah. All aimed at making it better for spectators, more rallies, easier to follow.
So what are the big competitions now?
You've got the World Championships, the World Cup, the Olympics, obviously, and the ITTF World Tour Circuit. It's massive in East Asia, China, Japan, Korea, and big parts of Europe, too. Lots of pro leagues, especially the Chinese Super League. And apparently VR table tennis is becoming a thing now, too.
Virtual reality.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. The Wikipedia source also mentioned something about naturalized players being quite common.
Yeah, that's a noticeable thing. A significant number of players, especially those originally from China, where the standard is incredibly high, end up getting citizenship elsewhere and playing for other countries.
Why is that?
Well, competition is just intense in China, hard to make the national team. And the ITTF also limited how many players one country could send to big events from 2009, so it opened up paths for talented players to represent other nations. You saw a lot of this in the Olympics, for instance.
Interesting dynamic. And over the years, there must have been some real legends of the game.
Oh, absolutely. You have players like Jano Waldner from Sweden, first man to win the Grand Slam, which is Olympics, World Championships, and World Cup singles titles.
Incredible achievement.
Totally. And Deng Yaping from China was the first woman to do it. Japan's had huge stars, too, like Ai Fukuhara, really popular. The ITTF has a hall of fame for these icons. And don't forget, there are variations, too.
Like what?
Hard bet table tennis, using rackets with no sponge, just plain rubber. Very different game, all about control and a clever spin, not raw speed. And there's even a world championship of ping pong that uses sandpaper rackets.
Sandpaper. Seriously.
Yep. Levels the playing field, makes for long, crazy rallies sometimes.
Wow. Well, this has been quite the journey through table tennis. From a Victorian parlor game to this incredibly fast, strategic global sport. Rules, gear, spin, the mental side, the history. There's so much more to it than meets the eye.
There really is. It's got layers, you know. Hopefully folks listening feel like they've got a much better grip on it now, maybe had a few aha moments without getting totally lost in the weeds.
Yeah, definitely. So as you've listened along, what part of table tennis grabs you the most? Is it the sheer speed and physical skill? the amazing spin doctors, that mental toughness, or maybe the history, how it all
It
evolved.
makes you think, doesn't it? And maybe one last thought to chew on. You see this blend of super fast physical reactions and really deep strategic thinking in table tennis. How could those principles that focus, adapting on the fly, reading your opponent, maybe apply to other fast-paced decisions we make, just in life generally?
Hmm, that's a great question. Well, we definitely hope this deep dive has sparked some interest, maybe even enough to pick up a paddle yourself now you're armed with all this knowledge. Thanks so much for joining us.